Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the South is dealing with a freak snowstorm officials are calling once in a lifetime. But most Kentuckians feel like the cold never really left.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee here on WYMT. Today's date is Wednesday and the time is 6 o'clock. It's also time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it's cold. That's all we have been talking about today. Because it's cold, it's just very cold. I mean, even as someone from northern Indiana, my hands hurt if I go outside without gloves on.
Yeah, and you can remember how cold yesterday was, right? Mm-hmm. Today's even colder than that. I can almost feel the difference in how cold it is. And as we take a look at that 24-hour temperature change graphic, I mean, especially as we're traveling towards Monticello and Somerset and Irvin, we're looking significantly colder than this time yesterday. 11 degrees colder right now than yesterday in Monticello. Same thing in Irvin, but 12 degrees colder right now. Here are those current temperatures, and it is no joke. I mean, we are looking at near zero temperatures, some places below 0 degrees this morning. -1 in Clintwood, -7 in Irvin, and that feels like temperature is even colder. But as we head into the afternoon, here's what you can expect in terms of those forecast high temperatures. We are looking in the upper 20s and low 30s as we're traveling towards Jacksboro. Definitely the low side of low 30s. We're looking right at that 30-degree mark. But here is satellite radar this morning. We are looking nice and clear, no precipitation, barely any clouds. Now we will have the clouds coming back in our area as we head into the afternoon, making a nice partly cloudy day. And you can see that on the next 12-hour graphic. There you go. Warming up, hitting the high temperature around 4 o'clock, seeing the sun a little bit towards 3 p.m. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. I can't wait for some of that sun. Well, county road crews in our area dealt with numerous snow events in the past weeks. People in Pulaski and Laurel counties say despite several snow and cold events, they are up to the challenge of keeping roads clear. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to them about the difficult work they did and the possibility of more to come in the weeks ahead.
It's become a never-ending job for road department personnel this winter.
It's been rough. I mean, we think we've got them cleared off and then they're freezing right back on us.
There are still several inches of snow and some ice on miles of county roads through Pulaski County, especially in the eastern end.
We've had our hands full just trying to get them clear and work plenty of overtime.
Well, this is Price Valley Road in the eastern part of Pulaski County, a section where county road officials say there are still a lot of treacherous road conditions, a lot of roadways still being treated and plowed. And you can see the difference. Behind me is Kentucky 80, the Hal Rogers Parkway, where traffic is going at its normal pace. And here where I'm standing, it is a solid sheet of ice. Both Pulaski and Laurel counties have about 1,200 miles of county roads. Dozens of men are spending a lot of time behind the wheels of plow trucks and away from home.
Well, so far it's been pretty rough, but you know, we've got a good group of guys and they don't care to get out and go do the work. And you can call on them, they're ready to go anytime you call.
Some drivers have found out the hard way how spotty the roads can be.
We're seeing a lot of wrecks because they think they are clear and then they're running up on these icy spots.
As long as it stays cold, crews say there will be work to do. In Laurel and Pulaski counties, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
It is a never-ending job for road department personnel this winter. Fighting to stay warm during brutally cold temperatures is what many folks are trying to do in the mountains, including one driver in Corbin. Brentley Patrick with Corbin Police rescued a woman along I-75 who was freezing after her car stopped. She was there for almost 2 hours. Patrolman Patrick was able to put her in his vehicle and warm her up. AAA officials say there are a number of things you need in your car in case it breaks down.
Start with an ice scraper, preferably one with a snow brush on the end. And then you want to have either jumper cables or a jump pack, some flares or reflective triangles that you can set out. Make sure that you have a heavy winter coat, hat, and gloves in the vehicle.
Patrolman Patrick says the driver did appear to have an emergency preparedness kit in her car that she was using, but she was still in danger. Police say the driver is not suffering from any injuries. Some Kentucky school districts are running out of non-traditional instruction days. Now some educators are making their case to lawmakers to step in and help. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports Education Commissioner Robbie Fletcher is asking lawmakers to increase the current limit of 10 days. He says lawmakers are receptive, but no decisions have been made. No word yet on just how many additional days are being proposed. More than half of the states in the United States are under an Arctic freeze this morning as parts of the deep south face rare, unprecedented cold and even snow. Naomi Ruckham shows us scenes of blizzard conditions as this now deadly weather takes hold of tens of millions of Americans.
From Texas to North Florida, scenes of snow are surprising about 40 million Americans.
It's beautiful. There's just no words to describe it. Snow on the beach, who would have thought?
In Gulf Shores, Alabama, snowy beach fronts were a first for those who came out just to witness it all, while students at the University of Southern Alabama went sledding. As parts of more than 30 states are in the path of the frigid front, New Orleans is experiencing its biggest snowfall on record.
This is unreal. We're loving the amount of snow, and it's just fun to be out here.
But while some make memories, emergency officials are sharing warnings of slick roads and black ice, hazardous for drivers who aren't used to these conditions.
The next 24 hours are our most dangerous.
At least 4 people have died in the storm, 2 from the cold in Austin, Texas, and 2 others in Alabama. In northern Florida, a state of emergency declared with many businesses and schools closed.
It's snowing in Florida, and I want my children to be able to tell their children and their grandchildren that they were able to experience this in Florida.
Parts of the Panhandle saw half a foot of snow, shattering long-standing records, with one meteorologist proclaiming the storm will go down in the history books as the Gulf blizzard of 2025. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Parts of Georgia and the Carolinas are also under winter weather advisories and warnings. Hundreds of flights were canceled or delayed. New Orleans, which tracked about 9 inches of snow, hasn't seen this much in more than 100 years. Well, back here in Kentucky, cold temperatures are taking a toll on water pipes freezing in homes and businesses. Surveillance video shows a waterfall happening Monday inside Bourbon and Toulouse restaurant in Lexington. Kevin Heathcote is the co-owner of this popular joint. He says this problem goes back to a water line that runs from the ceiling down to the Coke machine. The water line froze and eventually the pipe burst.
It actually runs right above a canister light. So had somebody not been here, I mean, you're risking potential electrical fires.
Officials say business owners need to know where the main water shutoff is located. Heathcote knew his was in the kitchen. We now have an update on a story we first brought to you last Friday. Troopers with Kentucky State Police have released the name of the person killed in a Floyd County crash. The crash happened in the Minnie area. They say Terry Salmon's vehicle collided with another person's Ford Escape, then hit a Toyota Highlander. Salmon was pronounced dead by the Floyd County Coroner's Office.
We're looking at mostly clear skies right now, but that won't be the story as we're heading into the next couple hours. But the good news here is that we're not looking at snow in the forecast for today. It's a nice little break. We've definitely been seeing a lot of snow the past couple of days, but thankfully a nice little break. It'll pick up a little bit tomorrow, but as we're heading into those highs for today, here's what you can expect. Looking in the upper 20s. Definitely warmer than we saw yesterday, and warmer temperatures are ahead. In fact, as we look into the month of February, we're looking slightly warmer than average for the entire month. So who knows? We could expect some warmer temperatures, but of course, temperatures love to fluctuate here in eastern Kentucky. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. This week, the Supreme Court begins to look at how to evaluate cases when police use deadly force.